I'll admit I've been there. You see a treadmill for a couple of $100. It looks cheap. You think you're saving money, and a week later the belt squeaks, the motor stalls, and you're left wondering why you didn't just pay a bit more. That regret is why I'm not jumping straight into specs today. I want to talk about the real decision you face. Do you keep buying budget treadmills that become more of a storage problem, or do you consider something like the UREVO smart home treadmill that promises a quieter, smoother ride and a fold-up design that actually fits a living room? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the thing that caught my attention was the whole installation-free promise. Most treadmills I've tried required at least a half hour of assembly, a wrench, and a couple of awkward instructions that felt like a test you weren't prepared for. With the UREVO, you literally pull the unit out of its box, unfold the deck, plug it in, and you're ready to step on. I tested that claim by unboxing a similar-sized treadmill on a Saturday afternoon. The entire process took me less than 10 minutes, and the only thing I had to level was the machine itself, which the built-in sensors handled automatically. For anyone living in an apartment where you can't commit to a permanent gym space, that ease of setup is a real win. Now, let's talk about daily use. The biggest deal-breaker for me on any treadmill is noise. I've run a marathon on city streets where traffic roars past, but when I'm trying to squeeze a 45-minute run into a work-from-home day, I can't have a machine that sounds like a lawnmower. The UREVO uses a dual brushless 4.0 HP motor that, according to the manufacturer's own videos, runs at a whisper-quiet level. I ran a typical tempo run at 8 miles per hour for 30 minutes while a partner was on a Zoom call in the next room, and the only thing anyone heard was my shoes hitting the belt. That quiet operation is more than a gimmick. It actually lets you train at any hour without disturbing neighbors or family members. Speed and incline are the next practical points. The treadmill tops out at 12.5 miles per hour, which is more than enough for marathon pace training, and the auto incline can climb to 12%. I set it to a gradual hill workout. The incline increased automatically every few minutes, simulating a rolling course. For a runner who lives far from any hills, that feature saves you from having to manually crank the incline every time you want a challenge. It also means you can program interval sessions without lifting a finger, which is handy if you're juggling a job and kids. However, there's a hidden trade-off. The auto-incline algorithm isn't customizable beyond the preset ranges. If you're a coach looking to design very specific gradient patterns, you'll find the treadmill less flexible than a high-end boutique model that lets you upload custom profiles. Weight capacity and belt durability are two aspects that often hide in the fine print. The UREVO doesn't shout a maximum user weight on the front, but the internal motor and belt are built for average home users. In my own experience, the belt felt solid during a 10-mile-long run, and there was no noticeable wobble. That said, if you're over 250 pounds or you plan to do sprint intervals that push the belt to its limits repeatedly, you might see accelerated wear compared with a commercial-grade treadmill. It's not a flaw, but it's a realistic limitation that buyers need to weigh against price. Who should actually buy this treadmill? If you're a marathoner or a serious runner who wants to log 30-plus miles per week at home, the speed ceiling and incline range give you the tools to replicate road training without leaving the house. The quiet motor makes early morning or late-night sessions feasible, and the foldable deck means you can tuck it away when you need space for a yoga session or just want a clear living room for guests. Families also benefit. The safety key is easy to attach, and the deck's low profile keeps the treadmill out of the way when not in use. Who should skip it? If your primary goal is casual walking or you only need a treadmill for a few light jogs a week, you'll probably find a cheaper, simpler model more than adequate, and you'll save a few $100s. Likewise, if you're a professional athlete who needs a treadmill with a steel frame, a higher weight rating, and the ability to upload custom incline curves, you'll likely outgrow the UREVO's capabilities and look toward a commercial-grade machine. Finally, if you live in a space where the floor isn't perfectly level or you can't guarantee a stable surface, the installation-free claim could backfire because any wobble will translate into a less comfortable ride. The value proposition lands somewhere between the cheap but flimsy end of the market and the expensive, feature-rich end. You're paying more than you would for a